Swiss precision meets British horsepower as luxury watchmaker Breitling joins forces with Aston Martin's Aramco Formula One team. I spoke to Breitling CEO Kern, who says the time is right for his company to return to a Formula One partnership, and why it's all about finding the right brand to team up with.
It's two things. It's obviously brand awareness, building brand awareness, in particular in Asia. Formula One is extremely strong in Asia, in China in particular. And then you have this image transfer. We have been approached by many Formula One teams, but in my opinion, there are only 3 Formula One teams with such a great image, and one of them being Aston Martin. As I said, we have been also in Thunderball, in James Bond, where Sean Connery was wearing a Breitling watch and driving a DB5. Some of the drivers who were wearing Breitling were Aston Martin drivers, Jim Clark, for instance. And it's quite authentic. And these two aspects, I would say, brand awareness and image transfer, are the 2 key elements of this collaboration.
You talk about Asia, and China, of course, has become a crucial market for luxury watches. How are consumer tastes evolving there, and how central is the region to Breitling's growth strategy?
Well, the USA represents 25% of our turnover. It's clearly our #1 market. But, you cannot fight demography. And the demography in Asia, in particular in China, with 1.4 billion people, is still there. Of course, there's been a slowdown over the last, especially after COVID, over the last couple of years. But the market is still there and will recover like all the other markets in this region. And therefore, we needed also to balance our investments. As I said, the NFL clearly targeting the US, but also Europe. There will be now a game in Paris, for instance, and Aston Martin, of course, in Europe, but also in particular in China, as the impact is gigantic, and therefore it works very well as a package in terms of our investments.
You talk about James Bond and racing car drivers, but I want to know who is wearing Breitling watches, because fewer people wear a watch now to tell the time, don't they? We've got our phones, and tech tells us what the weather is and what our sleep patterns are doing. So what is the enduring lure of a timepiece like yours, and what age range is driving that market?
We don't segment by age or by income. It's more lifestyle. We target a certain lifestyle. We target people obviously admiring, in this case, Aston Martin. We target people who like surfing. We are partnering, or we partner with Kelly Slater and many other surfers around the world. We participate in a kind of social phenomenon. The NFL in the US is a social phenomenon, and we are part of that. So it's more a lifestyle, and that client could be male or female, could be 18 years old or could be 60 years old. It doesn't matter. It's the style of our brand which I think here is in the center here of our work.